Some experiences in life are really painful, really uncomfortable. They change the trajectory of our life, and they're very difficult to come to terms with at the time. It takes time. It can take years to overcome something difficult like a separation or an illness or any kind of loss, really. The loss of identity in particular is very difficult to navigate. I'm standing by this tree, which I believe has been struck by lightning. Can you see it's leaning to one side, and actually there's two halves to the tree. The other half is spread out that way, and this side has fallen down this way. But it's continued growing, not in its original form, but it's actually split into two and is growing in two different directions now. And this is really what happens to us when something difficult happens. If you experience a huge loss and you find that your life is suddenly completely different from how it was before, there will still be a growth. Maybe it's slower, maybe it's more painful, maybe it's more difficult, maybe it's going in a completely different direction. And that takes time and effort and psychological conflict to come to terms with. But things will get better, things will fall into place. You can find acceptance, you can find joy in the new experiences, in the new way of living, in the new way of being. I think this tree is absolutely beautiful. I wish I could show you the whole thing, because the side that's leaning this way has fallen into the light, where it's flourishing and growing beautiful green leaves. And the other side has fallen where there's other trees, so it's quite dark. But it's actually shot up branches which are shooting up as if they're trees themselves now. So it's flourishing in its own way. I often find that there are lessons in nature. If we just look around, we can see how resilient plants and trees and animals are. I think as humans we do have additional struggles because the way that our brains work, the way that our mental functions operate, means that something like a loss is quite difficult to come to terms with. We know that animals grieve and they miss companions if they die and things like that. But often we can go for many, many years just grieving and not accepting what's happened. So if this resonates with you and you've experienced some kind of loss and you're finding it difficult, I just encourage you to look at the new ways in which you're growing, the new ways in which you're experiencing life, and see if you can find a gift in that, something that you can hold on to which gives you hope, something new, something you wouldn't have experienced if that hadn't happened to you. And maybe take a walk in nature and see what insights you can get from what you see around you.